What do a Taylor Swift concert, a nuclear explosion, and a hurricane have in common? They're all things that can be detected by seismometers. So a seismometer is an instrument that measures the shaking of the ground. And usually when we think about things that make the ground shake, we think about earthquakes. But in fact, lots of things make the ground shake. Everything from wind to construction to trains, even elk footsteps, if they're close enough to the seismometer, shake the ground enough to be detected. But throughout the earth, there is one source that's constantly shaking our world. It's the oceans. The drumming of ocean waves on the seafloor and the crashing of waves on the world's seacoast create this kind of background hum that seismologists call the microcism. So that brings us back to hurricanes. Hurricanes, right, they have lots of wind. It creates these huge waves. And so those drum really, really hard on the ocean floor. Those waves crash onto the coasts near where that storm is, right? And that creates these bigger microcisms, you can think of it. And so we can detect that on nearby seismometers, for instance, like the one behind me. So this is showing the approach of what is now Category 2 Hurricane Idalia through the Gulf and as it's approaching Florida. So this is an actual seismic recording from a seismic station in southern Florida. You can see at the top, the lines are a little bit thinner, but there's still wiggles, right? That's the microcism and all of these other inputs of things that are shaking the ground. But as the hurricane is approaching, see how the waves get thicker and thicker? They increase in amplitude. And so we're going to continue to see that as the hurricane makes its way towards landfall. These little lines here that are measuring the pounding of the waves on the ocean floor and on the coast, they're going to get bigger and bigger. And we see this after every hurricane or typhoon, depending on where you are. Here's some examples of ones from the recent past. And if you want to see this for yourself, most seismic data is open and freely available to everyone. And in fact, the EarthScope Consortium provides a great free resource. It's a web page or a downloadable app called Station Monitor. That's what I use to get this recording here. You can click on seismometers from around the world and look at real-time seismic data. So if you want to track this hurricane, go to Station Monitor. Check it out.